that was televised.
August 6th, primary day, time for you to vote, and tonight 7 is taking action for you to learn more about one of the candidates for mayor of Detroit. There are 6 frontrunners in this race. We're giving each candidate 5 minutes to tell you how they will make a difference in the city of Detroit. Benny Napoleon, Mike Duggan, Fred Durrell Jr., Lisa Howes, and Tom Barrow have already appeared here on Action News at 7. So tonight, Kyrstal Crittendon joins us now with her vision for the city of Detroit, what she plans to do to help out this city.
Yes, indeed. Thank you so much for coming in tonight.
And thank you for having me.
All right, so let's get started because we want to ask you about wanting to fire emergency manager Kevin Orr. You grew up in the city of Detroit. A lot of Detroiters are fired up, about what the governor has done and about what Kevin Orr has done. So why do you say you'd fire him right out the bat?
I think that this latest move by Mr. Orr with respect to what he wants to do with the police officers and cutting their pay after they've given and given and given is an indication as to why it is I want to fire Kevin Orr. Kevin Orr is not here to make the quality of life better for Detroit or Detroiters. He's here to make sure that his friends on Wall Street, his corporations, his former law firm, that they get that wealth that is sitting in the city of Detroit coffers.
So you feel he's betrayed the police and fire workers?
I don't think there's any doubt that that's what he's done. He told them that he was not going to cut their pay. You just heard and read the letter, and now he's saying, no, starting next month or next week, we are going to, in fact, cut your pay. That is definitely a betrayal.
You kind of made your name working for the city as a city attorney, and you were the one who called I guess it's kind of the predecessor to what we're here with the emergency manager, the consent agreement. You're the one who basically said that was wrong, that is illegal. You fought it, it cost you your job.
Right.
How similar is that situation where we are with the emergency manager and maybe bankruptcy?
You know, Mr. Orr is here, and he's here illegally. The people of the state went to the ballot booth and we repealed the emergency manager laws, and they've imposed him upon us anyway. I think it's all illegal. He doesn't have the authority to do what it is he's doing. Someone needs to stop him. Our current mayor and city council are actually complicit in what's taking place. They are silent. No one is trying to make Kevin Orr follow the law. And we need a mayor who's going to stand up for the people and the residents here.
So bottom line, if you were elected mayor, say tomorrow, you would fight again for that $225 million that you believe the state still owes the city of Detroit from that agreement back in 1990?
Not even that, just that money. There is probably close or approaching $1 billion right now in outstanding accounts receivables. Both the state treasurer and the mayor, who have looked at the city's books, said about 7 or 8 months ago that that was $800 million that was outstanding in accounts receivable. The city does not do make any effort to try to collect money that is owed. We just have not done it. And I'm not telling you about something that I think or something that I've heard about. I'm telling you about something that I've known. We've laid off all the people who collect money for the city, and we have this financial problem.
Reality of the situation is, by the time, if you were to win this election, by the time you were elected, by the time you go into office, it's quite likely a Chapter 9 bankruptcy would be already underway, looking at the way things are going right now. Then you're dealing with the federal court. You can't just go in there and say you can't do this. By that time, it is just too late. So how do you work with that system?
Well, assuming that we're going to qualify and be eligible for bankruptcy, it is definitely preferred to the route that we were going down with Mr. Orr being this dictator and having all the power and authority.
So you prefer the bankruptcy?
Absolutely. But if that decision is going to be made, it needs to be made by the local elected officials, not some unelected appointee of the governor. Mr. Orr does not have to answer to the residents of the city. He does not have to answer to the mayor or city council. He can do anything that he wants, and he can do it in secrecy. He is not subject to the Open Meetings Act. He said he does not believe he has to follow the Michigan Constitution. So we can't have someone making these kind of decisions who believes that he is above the law. In a bankruptcy, there is a judge. There is a certain degree of transparency. You know, I hope we are going to have people who are going to be actually challenging the very premise that he was brought here upon, and that's that the city is insolvent.
Now, so many people have moved out of the city. You were born here. I was born here, born and raised. I came back in 1998, fought to come back here. So how do you get people to come back and believe in city leaders and believe in Detroit again, especially with so much crime, the education being like it is today?
Right. We need to quit giving lip service to public safety being a priority. There's no way you can say that public safety is a priority and to keep doing the things that you're doing to our public safety officers. Like Mr. Orr is just saying he's going to cut their pay again. They will be giving up effectively 1/3 of their pay. These police officers give their lives. They don't pay into Social Security. You want their pay, and you also don't want them to have a pension. So if we really wanted to make this a safe and a clean city, we would do the things that are necessary in order to retain and attract police officers who would want to work here. we're not going to be able to make this city safe and clean unless we can do that. And so no businesses are going to move here.
But back on to Carolyn's question, another thing is also just making the neighborhoods not just safer, but also cleaner. Get the lights turned on, get the blight gone. Bring jobs to this city.
Right.
How do you convince businesses to do that?
Well, right now we have a number of abandoned properties in this city. No one's making the property owners take care of the property. That's the problem. We know that the banks own many of the properties. This mayor has not authorized the law department to sue these banks in order to make them either rehab or tear down these abandoned structures.
And you're a lawyer. You would promise, as a mayor who's a lawyer, you would go after these people in court?
First day, absolutely. They can't continue to do business in this city if they're not going to be responsible business and property owners. Someone needs to change the way that the business community and the property owners think about their investment here in the city. We want investments, but we want you to be responsible and to take care of your investment once it's here.
Wow, our 5 minutes are up, but we appreciate you coming in and answering our quick questions in 5 minutes.
Thanks.
Kyrstal Crittendon, thank you so much. And by the way, be sure to watch tomorrow night at 7 for a Detroit Mayoral Candidates Forum. That is tomorrow night at 7, right here only on 7.
And you can count on 7 Action News for complete Team 7 coverage of the August 6th primary. We'll bring you results on air and online at WXYZ.com/vote. We will also have political analysis, candidate interviews, and help you find your polling place. So check it out.